Good afternoon, friends. This is Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am back with another planner therapy video. So first off, apologies for this video going up later on Friday than my normal. I do try to get these videos up in the morning on Fridays, but it has been really busy this week for me, so it is going up whenever I get a chance to finish editing, and it'll be the first thing that I upload as soon as I finish editing everything and putting it up. So it'll be Friday afternoon. So what we have here is, if you looked at the title, you'll know that what I'm going to be talking about is the Happy Planner guided journals and how we can use the guided journals as both a planner and a journal, as it's meant to be obviously a journal, but how can we convert it so that way it's also serving as your planner, and how can we use these two things in conjunction in order to prioritize the journaling part of it, but also not lose sight of the fact that we do need to plan things. And so that's what this video is all about. It will be, I think, pretty straightforward. I actually love using the guided journals. And one of the things that I feel like is missing is that, especially if you're a person who wants to just use one product and not have like multiple planners going on, how can I take what I already have and use it in a way that benefits me both from the planning perspective as well as the journaling perspective. Now, if you've been watching these videos all along, you know that one of the things that I make a big distinction about is like past, present, and future. So in the past, that's all memory keeping, and I have a separate planner, quote unquote planner, that I use for memory keeping. Journaling is in the present moment, and I use a separate system for journaling. And then in the future is, or all the events in the future are what I consider my actual planner. But you might not want to have that big of a distinction between past, present, and future. You might just want to have one thing that serves the purpose of all of these things, past, present, and future, for you. And so this video is all about setting it up, specifically in the guided journal, and how we can do that. So I am going to open this up and show this to you. First off, the Happy Planner has released multiple guided journals. The one that I have here is actually a Walmart journal, a guided journal from Walmart. It has like watercolor, like it's actually what it looks like. And so it has these discs and this kind of like painting kind of effect on it. And so this is something that I got from Walmart. Just to start off this video with like the different types of guided journals that the Happy Planner releases, they have multiple types of guided journals. So they have wellness oriented ones, kindness oriented, gratitude oriented, faith, fitness, and goals. And there might be a couple that I'm missing. If you know of any other types of guided journals, feel free to leave a comment and I'll include that in the description. For the purpose of this video, I would encourage you to look at the wellness or the gratitude related journals, maybe even the kindness ones. I feel like that would be appropriate for trying to improve your mental health and prioritize mental health as compared to like goals or fitness or faith, okay? Not to ding any of those others, but just for the purpose of this series, I think that from a mental health perspective, those three types, kindness, gratitude, and wellness, are going to be the ones that are most beneficial to you in terms of thinking about your mental health. So with that being said, all of these guided journals have different like vibes in terms of like design and how they lay out some of the prompts, things like that. But in general, what the guided journals have are going to be a weekly section. It says for this particular one, it says week of 5 things I'm loving this week. It has a spot for 5, one area with room for growth, little things that bring me joy, simple ways I can be kinder to others, and then intention for this week. And then following the week of, there's always like a blank page. In most guided journals, I believe it's dot grid. And so it's going to be like just like this dot grid. For this one, it has obviously the full floral pattern running down the side. In some of the others, it might have a different design, but I think all of them do have dot grid. And then once you flip over the page, you'll see that it then gives you 7 sheets of like daily pages. And so you'll have different prompts. Like these prompts are going to vary depending on the guided journal. But this one says date, feeling, what empowered me today, how I helped someone today, today's highlight, today's low moment, and then a daily gratitude section that's lined. This section is dot grid, this one's lined. And then again, the prompts change. This one says what empowered me today, which is the same here. People who make me happy, which is different. And then it has today's highlight, today's low moment, which is the same here, and then a daily gratitude, which is the same. It's actually meant to be 7 pages. I only brought just this just to use. It will have 7 though. So this is the third, and then it'll have 4, 5, 6, 7. And then what happens is then it will then repeat, and you'll get a blank page, right? And then it'll have another blank page. And so it will look like this once you get into the second week. One of the things that is a little bit different is that the first week will be on the left side. the week of page, and then you'll have the blank page on the right hand side. And then for the second, third, fourth week, the blank page will be on the left side, and the week of these prompts right here will be on the right hand side. So hopefully that's not too confusing. I should have brought an entire like guided journal, but I don't have one. So I immediately take apart my books. So, you know, that's just kind of how it goes. But what I'm going to do is actually show you how to do this and set up the guided journals for daily planning and help you prioritize using it as a journal, but then also give you room to plan. Okay, so I'll start at the end of this and just kind of talk you through the end. So this second page right here, this page, these daily pages, I encourage you to fill it out as needed. Okay, one of the things that I think will be very helpful to you is to be able to use these as daily pages, mostly for journaling. And so answer the prompts as needed. Again, I really encourage you to look at the wellness and gratitude related ones just because they have prompts related to gratitude. But you also see that there's a lot of room on these pages. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to pull out a ruler, right? And I'm just going to use this one. And what I do is designate a spot for this marker does not work. I'm going to use a different one. All right. Is just kind of like designate a spot for planning, right? And so the way that I do it in terms of my daily planning, and you can change it up however you want to, is I like to have a spot for my like daily events, like things that are happening that day. And I like to include times for it. Right, so just for example, I'll pull a pen to write this. Like, let's just say, for example, I have an event at 8 o'clock. So I'll put 8 a.m. and then what is the event right here? And then I have another event at 11. And then the last thing is at 2:30, right? And I'll just write on the top half of this the events that I have. And then down here, I will just list all of my tasks. And I like to use boxes just because that is helpful to me. And then I can just like check off or like fill it in whenever I complete it. So it will be task, task, task. Now, you can give yourself as much room as you need to, but I like to just kind of like have a section of each page, each daily page that is for events and tasks. And I find that that's enough for me in terms of tracking it. Now I'm going to flip back to this page, because this is where we're going to create the planner. Now, if you're not into bullet journaling, you know, it's kind of moving into a little bit of bullet journaling, but there are a couple of things that you can do here. I am going to use just this blank page. I, again, encourage you to just use the guided journal as is and fill out this side of it. But on this side of it, we're going to make a planner. Now, there are two main ways that I will encourage you to do it. The first style is to use the dashboard style. And so I'm not going to draw it out here, but basically you draw a line down the center. You can, if you want to be very specific and like precise, you can count the number of dots, draw the line by dividing the number in half, count that number of dots, and then draw the line there. And then you do the same thing here where you're basically marking down in quarters the four sections. So you would create 8 boxes, dashboard style. And again, I'm not going to draw it here, but hopefully you know what that looks like. It looks like one line down the middle, one in the center, and then this box is split in half, and this one is split in half. And you can use it for the 7 days. Plus, there's a note section that you can use for whatever you want. So I find that that can be helpful for you, especially if you enjoy the dashboard style and just want to be able to use that same system here. Now, there's another way that I would do this, and this is actually not a Happy Planner layout, but I find that this is also very helpful, is to be able just to create a space for me to write things in like a list format. Okay, and so I'm gonna just eyeball it just for the sake of time, but what I'm gonna do is draw 8 boxes. Now, why do I do 8 boxes? The reason for that, and they're going to be boxes kind of laid on top of each other. The reason I do 8 is just because the math for it is a little bit easier for me. Like, instead of trying to count it and then divide it by 7, which of course you can do, like by doing 8, I can just eyeball it and it doesn't have to be perfect for me. It's close enough, right? And so I'm drawing these lines just like this, right? And this is the same system, by the way, that you would do for the dashboard layout. In fact, I'll show you on the bottom half here. Like, what you would do for the dashboard is you draw the center line, and then you would draw, I think it needs to be up one. You would draw a middle line right here, right? And then that would be it. And then you would delete these 2 lines and then just draw a line down the middle. And without these 2 lines, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But what I'm doing here is basically laying out 8 boxes, just kind of like stacked on top of each other. And you can see that these boxes are not at all perfect. I really should have measured it and counted how many boxes I had, but it's also good enough, right? And so these boxes, like it's probably bothering your eye, but honestly, like I just don't care, right? So on this side right here, it has week of, and so I would list the week. So this week is the week of May 17th through the 21st, 2nd, 3rd. Okay, and so that means that here I would have Monday. So this is Monday the 17th, Tuesday the 18th, Wednesday the 19th, Thursday the 20th, Friday the 21st, Saturday the 22nd, and then Sunday the 23rd, right? And then I have now a planner that I can use for my like daily planning, whatever you use your planner for. And I would also, in addition to that, have not just the weekly page or the weekly information here, I would also have these daily pages that I can use by breaking it down right here and including that there. The only thing that's missing from this guided journal setup is a monthly page. And so if you really need a monthly layout and have that monthly spread, then that would be something that you would have to add in addition to. But I feel like this is like a great system, especially if you're like, for example, used to like the dashboard layout, or you're used to kind of this Hobonichi style. And you would probably measure a little bit more than what I did right here and have like spaces that are more even. But being able to use this system gives you a planner in your guided journal, which will help like minimize the overwhelm that you might experience if you have like multiple planners. So if you're interested in like prioritizing and using your guided journals as both a journal and a planner, I encourage you to consider using this system, either this Hobonichi style or a dashboard style, just so you have that space to do the planning and then also have space to do the gratitude journaling or wellness journaling or whatever other journaling that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, guys, bye.